Welcome to the movie podcast. My name is Daniel. I am one of your hosts. Alongside me, I have the namer of names himself, Shabazz.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5.
Bump, bump. No, we're not going to do that. And alongside him, still, I think, on Panama time, Anthony.
It's Panama.
Oh, yeah,
Panama.
Right.
Hi, everyone.
How you guys doing?
Hey, good. Doing pretty great.
Good. How about yourself, Anthony?
I'm good.
Oh,
I think I have a bit of allergies coming along, but
that's okay.
I think me too. I mean, it's not as bad as like when I had that cold that one time.
Oh, yeah,
the show.
a few episodes ago?
Yeah, where I was like dying and you guys wouldn't help me.
No. The show goes on.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
Of course, as always, you are listening to the Movie Podcast, a show that is available every Monday across all of your favorite podcast stations, including Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
If you want to be part of the show, you can by writing in to thistimewith.com/talk. That is thistimewith.com/
Talk.
yes.
More like yellow.
And what we're doing actually new with this episode as well too is that we're actually going to be recording these and actually posting them on the This Time With YouTube account, which is youtube.com/thistimewith.
YouTube. I don't know what this.
What is that?
I think he was trying to sign it
Is that
to
a
the
gang
camera.
sign? Yeah, for people that are going to watch the video, Anthony just threw up some gang signs.
Yeah,
I apologize for that.
and now it's been demonetized on YouTube. So now there's more ways than ever to support us. Go ahead, join us on YouTube if you want to see what we look like while we record this podcast, or keep listening to us.
We may
on your
lose
podcast.
subscribers this way, though.
I
That's my
think
only
so,
issue.
man.
They-
I
I
might
think you're gonna
think
gain
so.
it. You're gonna gain it because of me.
I think so.
I'm
Anthony's
looking at the camera
face.
right
Anthony
now.
is a handsome Italian man.
He is.
And
Yeah.
I'm looking and I'm pointing right at you.
Oh
He's
my
got
god.
the little
I got
George
the-
Clooney look going on right now too.
How's your week been, guys? Though.
It's been a quiet week, I think. I mean, for me, it's a lot of days off from work because of holiday season coming around.
Yeah, for sure.
So watched a bunch of movies at home and did some things around the house. But other than that, quiet.
That's
yeah,
good.
very quiet.
Very quiet week.
Yeah.
Even on the movie news front, we don't have much going on this week, but we are in the Endgame right now. We are officially 1 week out from Avengers Endgame. How do you guys feel?
Excited.
Excited?
I'm trying not to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel real yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like by the time we record our next episode, we're already going to have seen it.
Oh my god.
It's a weird thought.
Yeah. I'm really, really excited for it. But yeah, it hasn't hit me yet.
No,
Hasn't
not
hit
at
me
all.
yet.
Not at all.
I'm trying literally like to keep my mind distracted because the anticipation will come in a couple days and it's gonna kill.
So we have some questions that people have written into us, as you
we're not
can
gonna answer
at
them, though.
thistimewith.com/talk, and none of them have to do with Avengers, which is great.
Oh,
so we can
God.
keep
Wait,
our minds off of it.
There is one that.
There's like a bunch of them. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
That was Daniel setting up a joke.
That was setting up a joke, and then it just
Have you not heard of a yoke before?
no, and it's
Yeah,
swing and a
sorry,
miss.
guys.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss.
So let's get into some of our questions. Our first question actually comes from a friend of the show, Ruth. So Ruth actually wrote in on our first episode of the show.
Yeah, I think so.
She says, "Hello, boys. You guys should really mention this site a lot more often because I almost didn't remember it. I just really couldn't remember thistimewith.com/talk and almost got lost on my way here. Just kidding." I think she's making fun of you, Anthony.
I think she is.
But anyway, my question is, what are your final predictions for Avengers Endgame? Specifically, do you really think Captain America is going to die? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how emotionally, mentally, and spiritually prepared do I have to be to watch this movie? So you'll remember on our second episode, or episode 0.5, you, Anthony, and I made that bet about that burger bet.
The burger bet, right?
Who's going to die in Avengers? And I said that one of the two big ones are going to die, but I'm leaning more towards Cap. Anthony says that is hogwash, and no one's going to die. And Shay was kind of...
No. Did you say no one was going to die?
Yeah, you said...
I didn't think anyone's
going to die.
Right. And what did I
And
say?
Anthony, and Shay, I think you were in the middle. You think someone may die, but you're not too sure.
I think like someone obscure made that. Like they'll kill like Rhodey or something and then be like, how do you guys feel about that?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay.
Sure.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I could survive. I could survive Rhodey dying. How about what's your mindset right now, guys? I know we're trying to keep expectations in check right now, but Who do you think Cap or Iron Man's going to die?
I just don't like right now. It's been the running rumor for the past 3 years that Captain America or Tony Stark is going to die at the end of this saga.
Yeah, even in Civil War too, people thought he was going to die just because he died in the comics and at the end of Civil War, right?
It would just be funny that he actually dies. Like it's just
that would be funny.
Yeah, in the sense like it would be like it just. I would probably suspect maybe the Hulk dies or someone who
really.
We don't expect, or we are not talking about it, because I feel like the Russo brothers are really invested in their fans and they're listening to people talk. Definitely and they're out there on the internet and kind of understanding what people are leading to.
Yeah,
and I feel that they would take that and lead it to a different direction.
Sure, they're the ultimate trolls.
Like Ant-Man, he would die.
You think Ant-Man would die too?
Yeah, because he's not just because of his character. It's like you can find another Ant-Man, but that would be a really I would not
see that coming.
Seeing Tony Stark die, or Captain America die, or Steve Rogers die, I can see that coming.
Right.
I can literally see that coming.
Okay.
I can see it coming too, but I also think that killing those characters would have at least some emotional weight.
Right.
Because, no offense, if you kill Ant-Man, I'm just going to be like, oh, okay. Well, it's kind of
here's the thing.
Inconvenient.
Right.
If you kill them, they're going to come back. Eventually, they're going to come back.
What do you mean? You think that if you think that they kill Robert Downey Jr.'s character of Iron Man, you think he'd come back?
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah, man.
I don't know, because here's the thing with me, I remember when Civil War came out, and a lot of people were upset that Cap didn't die in that movie, but it didn't make sense for him to die in that movie, and even for myself personally, a character dying doesn't always equal emotional stakes, right? I think at the end of Civil War, it was much more emotional and sad that these characters are alive, but they're a fractured team at this point, right? I think either Iron Man or Cap is going to die in Endgame, just because I just feel like that is the conclusion of their arc, and I can almost see it being Iron Man more than Cap, because because Tony Stark is the one who started this all, right?
Yeah.
So I could see him almost putting himself, calling back to the first Avengers, putting himself on the wire again to save somebody or save Steve, and lets somebody else continue on. I don't know. This
is the dilemma a lot of people have been talking about, because usually in the comics they kind of live forever.
Of course,
even if they die, they come back in a couple of months or a year.
Yeah, they find ways to bring people back.
So there's the rumor of one of these major characters dying in the universe of of film, and they're huge characters. Iron Man's a huge character,
$1 billion characters if we're looking at it in a business
him
sense, right?
In the sense of just Marvel,
right?
He's huge. He's one of the biggest characters. So if you kill him, who are you going to replace Iron Man with?
Right.
With Black Panther, he's a big character in the movie universe.
Right.
Not in the comics. Not in the sense where he's as influential.
Right. But I mean, I think there's room for those characters to grow even more, because when you look at even Captain Marvel on the comic book side, she got such a bigger presence now on the comic book side even before her movie came out. And I think now that we've had 10 movies with Robert Downey Jr. kind of reprising his role as Iron Man, I could almost see him ending it there to set up the new wave of heroes, right? I don't know, and I don't want to see it happen, as I love Iron Man. He's my favorite character, but when we go back to 2008, Iron Man was only kind of getting a little bit more well known to the main audience, right? Comic book fans knew him, but it was never at everybody knows who Iron Man is now. He could be arguably the biggest superhero right now, bigger than Superman and Batman, in terms of recognizability, because everybody loves the Avengers movies, right?
Yeah. I'm also thinking of it as how Disney is gonna, because once these movies come out, Disney's gonna start to have their theme parks as well.
For sure.
What are you're gonna have Iron Man there?
The Iron Man
Captain America. So it's this weird scenario where you're gonna have these situations where these characters are still gonna be alive, and then you have the movie, which they might be dead. And
right.
I don't ever think the character ever dies. I would probably say they disappear for a bit. Maybe make an appearance 10 years from now.
Do you see them sunsetting the character some way?
I would say.
I would say they could do that with Iron Man, because in Infinity War they kind of do set that up with I want to have a baby, and
right.
I mean in every single Iron Man film recently, he's been retiring, kind of getting back, right? So I think this may be the final like nail in the coffin in terms of like retirement. I think he actually may retire, and then they may kill Cap. Because I know that Chris Evans kind of just wants to move on from this world. He also wants to kind of get into directing and doing his own thing out there, right? He doesn't want to be just Captain America for the rest of his life, and he kind of wants to pass it on. Yeah, I can see him wanting to do that.
Yeah, and I could see also too like. They could Iron Man could continue on, but it doesn't have to be Tony Stark in the costume, right? Like in the comics, it's what Riri Williams or something like that, someone who's taken over for him.
But he's come back,
right? He's kind of been like in the mentorship role and stuff like that. So that's really honestly, I don't think
that says a lot because even the comics can't get rid of him.
You can't.
You can't get rid of him. So there's that dilemma. Where how do you get rid of him in the movie? Because people are gonna go want to watch.
Yeah, of course, and people love Robert Downey Jr., right?
And they want to see Steve Rogers.
Right.
And they want to see Peter Parker.
Yeah. They want to see
in the grand scheme of things. That's what they want to see.
For sure.
Now, when you're saying seeing Tony Stark again, do you mean seeing literally Robert Downey Jr.? Because at least what the comics have a benefit of is you can have them drawn in and written in. Right. But obviously, when we're dealing with film, we have actors' salaries, we have actors' contracts, we have all these other things that kind of have to play a factor here. And obviously, humans don't live forever. So eventually when Robert Downey Jr. unfortunately has to come pass, and they want to bring back Tony Stark into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because this Marvel Cinematic Universe will be happening forever, I think. Or at least for a very long time.
Like I truly believe something's going to happen to this universe where something timeline or reality changes.
Yeah,
in
for
a
sure.
sense.
It's possible. I mean, like we don't know what Phase 4 is going to be, right?
We don't.
We don't know what Phase 4 could bring. I remember back when Iron Man, when the first Avengers was coming out, and I think contract negotiations were going on, and I remember Marvel saying like, hey, like the role of Iron Man could very much be like James Bond, where it could be a different actor going forward with it. I personally I don't like that, because even going back to the early MCU movies and seeing the switch from from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle, and Hulk from Ed Norton to Mark Ruffalo,
it's a bit jarring.
It's a little jarring, right? And I don't want to see someone try and do a Robert Downey Jr. impression. You know what I mean? I'd rather it be a different character, and I would hope in the grand scheme of things there is some type of finale, like some closure to the MCU.
It's crazy. It's just you can't really think of a good way of this ever ending.
And it's like 23 movies deep at this point, right? So like I could see them maybe down the road, like if it ends, like maybe they springboard into something else. Who knows? Who knows what they were going to do?
But on a scale of 1 to 10, guys, how emotionally, mentally, and spiritually prepared are you to watch this movie?
Yeah, on a scale of 10 being prepared and 1 being unprepared,
so prepared, I would assume.
Yeah,
I'll say 10.
You're ready.
Yeah, you're
ready for it, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm honestly maybe 2 or 3.
I'm like a 7. I'd say solid 7.
I'm just like so excited to see, just because I know how different the marketing has been for this, even from Infinity War. So I can't believe we're like 6 days away at this point.
Spoiler, that is the discussion of today.
Yes, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
And marketing basically for films.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk obviously about spoilers, like spoilers for this movie, for Avengers.
No.
But just spoilers in general, how you could avoid them, how we can prepare ourselves for them, things like that. So stay tuned for that later in the episode. Continuing on with the questions for this week, Genevieve asks, if you could wield only one Infinity Stone, which one would you choose and why? Who wants to go first?
Reality Stone.
Why the Reality Stone, Anthony?
I can change reality.
That makes sense.
I can literally I can literally make you a broomstick.
Why would you want me to do
a
that?
Broomstick? Though?
Because I can control reality.
Clean up the dust.
Clean up your act.
No matter how much power you have.
Yeah.
No matter how much you could slow down time.
Yeah.
I can change reality just by
with
snapping my fingers.
Okay.
That's my stone. Just because
sure.
I think that's the strongest stone out of all of them. The reality stone.
Okay. How about you, Shay?
I'd go with Time Stone.
Yeah, see, trash
stone. The trash stone?
Yeah, that's a trash stone.
Oh, wow.
Okay. What I would do is you would get the reality stone, and I would change time so you don't get it. And then you get it again, and then I would change time again. Or I could just change
reality where you never had the stone.
But I had the stone first.
But you're a broomstick.
That's why I'm choosing the space stone, so I can just teleport myself away from you guys.
I keep turning into a broomstick.
Reality stone changes time back to me, and
there's no space anymore.
Change you into
he's removed space.
But what if I've controlled space with the stone to change where you are and you die in space?
Wow, that got
What?
dark.
It got a little
That
dark.
got dark quickly.
How dare you attack me, first of all?
Reality Stone would then allow me to change you into a broomstick.
Everyone is a broomstick in Anthony's.
That's what happens when Anthony snaps. Everyone just half the population turns to broomsticks.
Yeah, to clean up the dust that he leaves behind.
Wow.
Okay, go on, Shane.
Wow.
Go on, Shane.
Well, that's it. I would choose Time Stone because I want to be able to
manipulate time.
manipulate time. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
I think it's cool.
That's a cool one. What ones are we leaving out here? We're leaving out the Mind Stone, the
Mind
Soul,
the Soul Stone, and the Power
Stone, and the Power Stone.
Power Stone's. It's very enticing because you just want to have
So
power.
I was looking at the giant Infinity Gauntlet I have behind them to see
you
like
You
everything.
can't scare me like that because you keep looking behind me, and I'm like, what?
What Thanos is
Who
behind you.
is behind me right now?
I'm so sorry.
Your mom just picks me up and throws me.
Hello. You chose the Time Stone?
We'll go back in time and change it.
All right, so those were our Avengers.
What was yours?
I chose the Space Stone.
Space Stone.
Space Stone.
Trash stuff.
I know.
Stupid stuff.
You know what I mean? I'll see. It'll change. So those are our final Avengers questions and predictions for this week. Moving on with some more of your questions. Again, thank you so much for sending in all these questions, guys.
We love questions.
Devyn asks, what terrible video game franchise would make a great movie?
That's a
tough one.
It's a tough one, right?
because you've had to play a very bad game,
Right.
and then you had to turn that bad game into a really good movie.
Yeah.
And that's never happened with a good game into a
Right.
good movie. So
Like, I love the Assassin's Creed franchise, and there are great games in that franchise. There are also not as great games in that franchise, which
Yeah.
I feel like that would be like a great miniseries or a movie.
yeah.
The movie was not good for Assassin's Creed.
Oh my God, no. Not at all.
But I think for myself, a game that came to mind that I remember playing this almost like 10 years ago at this point was called The Saboteur. Do you guys?
I remember that game.
Remember this game? It was by EA.
PS2 or PS3, I think, right?
PS3, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's PS3 generation.
Xbox
and
360, yeah.
So basically, the premise of this game is that it takes place during World War II.
Yes.
And it takes place in France.
Yes.
But what's really cool about this game is that it's black and white. So depending on the areas that are under like the Nazi control, it's black and white. But as you start liberating the areas, more color becomes more introduced into the worlds.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it's like a stealth shooter type game. But it was a really cool game. It wasn't the best game, but it's like a hidden gem. Like if you go back to that generation to find it. But I think that would be a really cool just visually to make a really cool movie. And it has a cool name, The Saboteur.
Would you do it the same way? Like, would you film it where it's black and white, and while the movie progresses,
I think it would be cool.
it would become colorful?
Because I love when directors like use color grading and things like that uniquely in their movies, and I think to have a movie that starts off in black and white but as more and more things are introduced, almost like Pleasantville does it when we were talking about black and white movies last week.
Shout out to Shiraz, try to ask that question.
Yeah, so like I think that could be a really cool way of just using color in a movie, and again, it's not a terrible game, but I think that would be a really cool one to make a movie.
Yeah.
Anthony, what about you?
It was really hard because I was trying to figure out a game that was not really good, and then I couldn't find one. Then I thought of Toe Jam and Earl. But that's a really good game, actually, from Sega.
If I'm being honest.
I enjoy it.
I enjoy it, but it's just I don't know. It's such a hard question.
Is there any games that you do like that would make that you would want to see as a video game adapt into a movie?
Probably like God of War.
Yeah,
But that is essentially a movie.
right.
You know, like God of War, if you've ever played the last God of War, it's literally a movie.
It's a cinematic. It's
a
very
cinematic
much
movie.
like how Naughty Dog makes their games as well too. Like they're very cinematic driven. They're fantastic games, but it's also like those games I think work better as those stories I think work way better as games. And like we're going to be getting an Uncharted movie with Tom Holland down the road.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I think those work so much better as games because like.
And that's actually that actually leads to another question. Do you think games are the evolution of a movie? Like right now, in like 20 years from now, what a game would it be the evolution of what like a hybrid movie / interactive experience?
You know, we've seen that with what is the Black Mirror episode Bandersnatch or something like that?
Oh, Bandersnatch?
Is that with Bandersnatch?
Yeah.
What did I say? Bend
and Snap, I think.
Bend and Snap.
I think you were doing...
I was Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde, yeah.
Between the Bend and Snap.
Yeah.
Where you see like a movie that you can, or a show that you can interact with.
Right?
But I don't know. I like I don't see as games being under movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like, or above them. Like I feel like when you're telling a story or telling a movie in that way, in that method, like that's how it's existing. And I don't think that it being adapted into a movie like necessarily means it's now a higher art form or whatever. It's just I like that things exist as games. I don't think that everything needs to always be adapted into something else, right?
Yeah. And I mean, there's some developers out there that do a really good job of making these video games that are, like we talked about Naughty Dog and not even Santa Monica Studios, Sony, because they're creating these games that are so film-esque, and they come from these inspirations behind film. Like God of War is a single camera based game. And I mean, movies do a really good job with that too, right? So I think that was really interesting. I think that we're on our way to kind of get that. For me, though, personally, it was hard to find, video game franchises or things that I don't like or that I hate because I haven't really played them.
Yeah, we don't really spend too much time with things that we don't like.
But if I look at franchises that I've liked that have had bad games in them, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I mean,
a Tony Hawk movie.
Yeah, could you imagine like a Tony Hawk film? Like, wouldn't that be crazy? Like, you go to all the old school maps, like School, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I could imagine a Tony Hawk movie.
But is it about Tony Hawk or is it like mid-90s?
It would be about Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
In a sense where we talk about the evolution of skateboarding in the 90s.
In the warehouse,
And that reminds me of...
But I wouldn't imagine.
Hangar. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Lords of Dogtown?
Yes.
Yeah, which is basically that, like the rise of skateboarding culture. And Tony Hawk has a cameo in that movie as well.
Oh,
too,
as
the astronaut.
Or if I think about it even further, like I used to play a lot of Duke Nukem as a kid. Probably shouldn't have. But like it's a bad game, but it's also it's a fun game, but it's so campy and cheesy and
I think time stamped as well too.
Very time
stamped. It's like very 90s character.
Oh,
right?
100%. Like I can imagine like Schwarzenegger kind of playing that role back in the 90s,
or even John.
right?
I think John Cena has the look for him.
John Cena
now.
has it now,
like
right?
him, yeah.
That's the thing. Or Van Damme even could have done it, but now, like you put this character out there, and it would be so straight to DVD so quick. But they'd have to do a really good job. And I'd love to see it, just to see like a Yui Bowl directed film of it.
Oh yeah, Yui Bowl for sure would do a Duke Nukem movie.
100%.
I'm surprised he hasn't done one already.
I don't know. Maybe it's in the works.
Maybe it's in the works. You never know. Whatever he's up to these days.
Oh God.
But Devyn, thank you so much for your question. And if you have an answer for this question, send them in to us at thistimewith.com/talk. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Continuing on, we have so many questions this week.
I know. Stop asking us questions.
Stop it. No,
I'm just kidding. Please keep sending.
Eric asks, is Rey a clone of Luke's arm lost in Cloud City?
What the hell?
No.
I think
absolutely
not.
I don't think so either.
No.
Yeah, no.
Should we try and
I feel like you could clone
dissect this
Luke in other ways. Like the hand doesn't have to be the main source of the
because
clone.
there's some weird stuff in Star Wars lore, right? Especially in like the legacy extended universe content before Disney took over.
Remember when like Force Awakens was supposed to start off with his arm floating in the opening crawl?
But I'm pretty sure, like in space, wouldn't your arm like rot away?
Oh, but Star Wars space is different.
Decompose?
Maybe.
Wouldn't it just freeze?
But freezing is preserving it then, right?
But like it wasn't space. Remember that it was just.
It was a galaxy.
It was Bespin, right?
It was in the sky.
Yeah.
But it falls out of the. It falls out of it.
In the trash chute, it just goes like boop. It falls up.
I don't know. I don't know how these planets are.
I don't know. I don't know the.
But I feel like in some weird lore of Star Wars, that's definitely possible. I just don't think that this is possible.
I feel like somebody out there has written the novel that's going to be coming out in 2024. Luke's arm. It's going to be its own like graphic novel series about what happened to his arm and who found it and how it's.
It might already be out there, to be honest with you.
It might be. Somebody's probably like, "Yeah, guys, that's already been answered."
You haven't read it yet?
So, Rey being a clone, hard no.
It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
That's gonna be
no.
Okay, I'm gonna say no.
A clone.
Clone trooper.
Finally, this week, Sean asks us, "What is your favorite heist film?"
Ooh,
great! One of my favorite genres of movies, especially when they're done well. Who wants to share? I want to get you to start this one.
Cool. So when I think about heist films, I think about your typical ones. So you got Ocean's in there, obviously. Ocean's 11. We talk about The Town a lot,
right?
And I think to me, The Town is a fantastic heist film.
Yep.
But then I even think back to the ones that are like the guilty pleasure ones. So I think about The Italian Job, like the one with Mark Wahlberg.
Right. Was it 2006?
2003.
Oh my gosh!
Right, Edward Norton's in it.
Charlize Theron's in it, right?
Is LL Cool J probably stops by because he was in every movie.
I always remember that Canada's Wonderland had a ride of it.
It did, with the Mini Coopers.
I love that
with
ride.
the Mini Coopers.
That was like jet you off right away.
It was like give you whiplash right away.
100%.
Right away.
But then I think about like films like Heat, which we talked about before. I love Heat, and then Heat to me is such a great film because it's Val Kilmer, I think, at his finest.
Definitely.
Ashley Judd's in it. And then you got the two big dogs. You got De Niro and you got Pacino finally sharing the screen at the same time. So huge. And Michael Mann does a great job. And a movie that's also inspired many other films,
like
right?
Nolan always says how that movie inspired him so much as well.
For Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And then think about, and we were discussing this one before, all three of us, Inception.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mind Heist.
Mind Heist, right?
Doesn't always have to involve money, right?
It doesn't, no. And I remember when we were looking at this question, like, because again, like we talk about The Town a lot, and like The Town was like top 5 favorite movies of all time, and I in my head I'm like, is it a heist movie? Because like in my head when I heard heist, I was like it has to follow those kind of tropiness that kind of like Oceans does, but it doesn't. Yeah. And you guys made me see the light on that, so thank you for.
Oh, okay.
So when you really look at it, anything that involves stealing something is.
It could be considered a heist.
Could be considered a heist.
For myself, I was gonna say, have you guys ever seen The Bank Job with Jason Statham?
Jason Statham.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen that?
No.
No.
It's from 2007. It's a really, really great movie.
2008, I think.
2008, yeah, around that time. But it's basically them having to break into this vault.
Yeah.
Really, really cool setup for the movie. It takes place in London and has like royalty and everything involved in it. It's a really, really cool movie.
Oh wait, yes, I remember.
Yeah,
this.
like they were trying to steal like these, like I guess incriminating evidence on the royal family, things like that.
Yes.
Really, really cool movie. So that's my pick for one of my favorite heist films, and obviously the ones that have been mentioned already as well too.
Yeah. Shay mentioned all mine, so
sorry about that.
I'm gonna go with The Heist.
Yeah.
With what's his name? Gene Hackman.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
2001. You know, heist movie I didn't like. Inside Man.
I was just looking at that Inside Man with Denzel. Right?
Really?
I didn't like it.
That's a good movie.
Very boring, and like when the twist and the ending kicks in, I was just kind of like,
Who directed Inside Man again?
Spike.
Was it Spike?
Spike Lee.
Wow.
I thought that was one of his better works of the mid.
It's
2000s.
Yeah, it's definitely one of his more commercial works, I'd say. Right, Inside Man. Also, like shout out to. We're going to talk about them more later, but Fast 5 is very much a heist movie. It's very much just ripping off.
Oh God!
So
Oceans.
it'll be
but Fast 5 was a good one, right?
Sci-fi.
Yeah, in Brazil, no. You guys, I like. I think it's my favorite in the series. It's my favorite in the series.
You said The Town wasn't a heist movie before we started the discussion. Now you're saying Fast 5 is a heist.
Fast 5 is 100% a heist movie. So it's literally Ocean's 11. They're getting they redefined all of the characters, and that's how all the characters reunite, and they seal a vault at the end. It's literally a heist movie.
Do you want to start our own podcast?
Yeah, man.
Good luck recording it without me, guys.
We'll just buy all these boxes and
all these boxes. That's a great start.
What boxes?
You're off to a great start
right there.
Are you sure you want to leave for this guy?
I'm unsure now because you don't even know what this thing is. That's a computer, man.
Red box.
The red box?
But yeah, so there's tons, and I mean,
there's tons.
Even like Baby Driver, there's tons of movies that have been embody that heist formula, and I mean like Ocean's 8 as well too was the spin-off of Ocean's 11, and that's all we'll say about that.
That's all we'll talk about.
All
right, yeah.
But that was our questions for this week. Again, thank you so much for sending in your questions. If you want to send them in, thistimewith.com/talk.
TALK.
Yes.
Not spelled like Kesha's TikTok song?
No, not like that. Not at all. So going into the news this week, like we said, it's been a pretty light news week. We got a bunch of trailers that we'll get into in a little bit. But something I did see, this came from IndieWire, from Eric Kohn on IndieWire, and it's about M. Night Shyamalan reacting to the reviews of Glass. Anthony, have you seen Glass yet?
Yes.
You have seen it? Okay, good. So Eric writes, with the release of Split, M. Night Shyamalan saw his best reviews since his 1999 breakout, The Sixth Sense. Oh my God, it's like 20 years ago. The surprise sequel, it was a surprise sequel to 2000's Unbreakable, but the 2016 Split won over many critics who had become skeptical of his bumpy filmography. But when he completed his trilogy with Glass, he found himself in a familiar place that he did in the last 10 years or so in his career. So Shyamalan said that he was in London when he heard the reviews for Glass, and he was actually in a makeup chair working on a TV show, and he cried because the movie tested so well. So I just wanted to ask you guys, where's the line between being critical and being negative on something? Because we've all seen Glass. Like speaking for myself, like I wasn't the biggest fan of it, and I love Split and I love Unbreakable, but Glass didn't do it for me. Where do you guys land on Glass right now?
For me, I like the beginning part of Glass,
right.
But the ending was weak. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I'll watch the trilogy over again because I thought James McAvoy's character being introduced into this universe was amazing. Like I thought his character was so good.
Yeah,
all the different personalities and
especially the ending of Split when you find out that it's tied within this world, it's like that was mind blowing. Right when we saw that,
and it is hard to say like with these critics. Yeah, they could be really negative and sometimes they could be really mean. But at the end of the day, it's Shyamalan's movie. And just like Star Wars was George Lucas's movie, sometimes fans just get too caught up in the whole grand scheme of things, and sometimes they get let down.
It's true. How about you, Shay?
I think same kind of reaction as Anthony here. I remember when the movie first started and we were hearing bad reviews about it, and the movie starts and it starts off really strong, and we were like, how is this movie getting bad reviews? And then right towards the middle, and then we get to the end, and we're like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense now.
Right.
But I think people are so vile and hatred when they come on these reviews for these films, and they just spew all this venom. Like when we talk about Last Jedi last week,
right? How
people went like just so extremely. Those are fans,
right?
Now critics sometimes when they go on Rotten Tomatoes and they write their reviews or from their perspective publications, they go so into the psyche of the director, and they go personal for no reason. Like, judge the film as an art.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. Like it's someone that's producing a piece of art. They're not making Dude, Where's My Car? They're making a movie called Glass.
Yeah. Like at that
has some art behind it. Right?
And he thought this was going to be great.
And and especially from the test audiences that he said too, that it was going through the roof. So he thought he had a hit on his hands, right? Mm-hmm. So
self-financed too. You can't knock the hustle.
So I mean, like, this movie has a 37% right now in Rotten Tomatoes. It's made almost $250 million worldwide,
which is amazing
on his own budget of $20 million, which is it's incredible, right? Mm-hmm. So like, shout out to him. Like again, Shyamalan's had a lot of hits and misses in his career, but at least you could
took the risk, right?
Count on him for taking risks, right? So like there was a review on like Rotten Tomatoes, because like Rotten Tomatoes, like it links you to the full review, but I guess they have to write a little blurb. And I find that a lot of the times, like Shay was saying, like these reviewers or these critics try to be so like clever and how they write things, where it just comes off as like just plain mean. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even want to read or give light to some of the ones that are there. Like you could go check them out if you want to, but you could just tell that they're just being like, they're like attacking. They're not. It's like they were offended by like this movie did them wrong, and like there could be movies that we don't like, and there's a lot of movies that we don't like, but I'll never like go off and like attack a movie, right? Like I just
don't know what like this movie owes me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, I know I'm paying for it, yes, but at least I'm getting some enjoyment out of it. Whether the end product doesn't completely satisfy me or fulfill me,
right?
I at least get something out of it. And with Glass, I think it's really well shot, and there's some beautiful moments in it.
For sure.
But I think, again, the movie is, if you want my opinion on it, it's too big for what it was trying to do.
Yeah, and think too, like, I love, obviously we're saying that who loves James McAvoy in the movie, and tying Split and Unbreakable together was a bold move. But when we see how it was tied together, I just don't think the story payoff was there as much, right? It just focused, I think, too much on them being in the hospital and them trying not to believe that they are these hero-like characters, right?
Right.
And it just left me kind of wanting more. It left me wanting to see more Split than Unbreakable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, we've reviewed this movie. We have a review up on the This Time With YouTube channel. But even then, like, I don't think we ever came off as negative about it. Like, I'm all down.
We were never evil about it.
or mean about it. Like, we're critical of it, sure, and like I want us to be critical about stuff, but like as hosts, the three of us as a podcast called the Movie Podcast, I think there's also like a protection that we also have to have on movies too, right? Yeah. Like, we need to be able to be critical but not spew that venom, like Shay was saying, right? Yeah,
I agree.
Any final thoughts on that?
I just hope he comes back. I hope it saddened me to hear that he was crying about it.
Yeah,
but I can understand why, because he had a bunch of misses. I mean, he went from The Village, Lady in the Water, The Happening, Airbender, After Earth. So those are all it's like a continuous misses.
Right.
Then he comes out with A Visit, which I haven't seen it, but from what I heard, people said that they enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the one with the
grandparents.
Yeah, I
right?
literally just watched it like a month ago.
Yeah,
it was on TV.
And then Split, which I loved.
Yeah.
And then when we get to Glass, it's kind of like that in between where it's like it's good, it's bad, it's kind of both. And I just hope that whatever he does next, he comes back at it, comes to his full heart, because I want to see the guy still making movies.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, because like it's crazy that like the goodwill that he got with Split, it almost felt like people were just like we're ready to jump on him again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Anthony.
I don't think it'll like stop him from making film.
Good.
No.
It is hard. Like when people write things, you always imagine it a lot harsher and stronger. So that's just a generation that we kind of live in right now.
It is.
It's true.
It's so unfortunate. People are internet bullies, right? Like they're behind this computer and they're like, "Oh yeah, it was the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen in my life." But it's like, it's kind of like when people watch sports and they're like yelling at the athletes.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, you go and do it then.
Yeah.
100%. But then,
Yeah. And he's coming back. Like, he's working on a series for Apple right now as well too.
Yeah.
So he is coming back with stuff. So like, it's not the last that we're going to see him. It's just, unfortunately, this movie went the way it did. But
it still says a lot about his films, even though they were not great.
Yeah.
You still talk about them. You still talk about Lady in the Water.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And you still talk about
The Happening.
The
Still
Happening.
talk about it.
So even though they're bad, there's some sort of impact that made
For sure.
him. So
And they make the money.
They make the money. That's exactly it, right? And at the end of the day, he's still like, no matter how many times he's getting knocked down, he's coming back up. So
And here's the thing: the movies that he's had that have been good have been unbelievably, groundbreakingly good.
Yeah, for sure.
They've been like moments in cinema that have changed. Like you have The Sixth Sense, like that movie's
embedded in culture.
Culture, right? Then you have Unbreakable, which I mean now more so than it was before. And then movies like Signs that stick out. So
it only takes one. Francis Ford Coppola made one movie, essentially one of the greatest movies that was ever made. He never made a good movie after that. Maybe the sequel to The Godfather.
Yeah.
But other than that,
and he directed as well as
Red Dawn or something. No, Red River or something.
Did he direct Red Dawn?
No, not Red Dawn. It was called Red something.
But like other than
The
that,
Outsiders as well too. He directed as well.
Francis Ford Coppola has never done a really good movie other than The Godfather 1 and 2.
There's nothing that comes to mind,
right?
100%.
No, and
100%.
You can look at his list right now.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
There's nothing there that's on that level.
But he's made movies where you still talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, what about like Apocalypse Now?
Yeah, I guess. But like something that's
what year was Apocalypse Now? Was it 79? 79, yeah. So literally his work in the 70s, I don't think he's ever topped that after the fact, right?
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, with Gary Oldman
and Keanu. Keanu Reeves.
Can you do your Keanu impression for us one more time?
Whoa.
That was really good.
I was expecting
Can
you
I
to say,
tell you guys how
I'm
much
back.
I love Keanu Reeves? You guys send me a picture of Keanu Reeves on GQ.
Yeah.
Man, that guy's
oh
sexy.
man, he's a good
looking.
He's so
man.
cool.
Did you see the behind the shoot?
Yeah,
behind
like
the scenes
this
video
guy's
of that?
like, like I own a motorcycle company and we make custom motorcycles. I also, film all these crazy movies and I'm really cool and I just live my life and I don't give a shit about what anyone thinks.
But everybody
cool
loves
guy.
him though.
I'm a
Everybody
positive
loves him.
person.
Yeah.
And
he's a cool guy, in my
He's a cool
opinion.
guy.
Yeah.
That new IMAX poster that came out for John Wick is beautiful, by the way.
It's pretty flagrant.
And it was funny that it came out on the Thursday, like supposed to be like the Last Supper looking poster. Very, very cool
I've heard
poster.
about that. Yeah.
Continuing on, Shay, you actually added the next news story to the doc. Sorry, I'm just attacking you.
Why?
I'm gonna let you tee this one up.
Yeah. So, have you guys heard of MoviePass?
Yes.
Yes.
AMC.
I believe so.
Yeah.
In the States, there is a I guess a service that they're called MoviePass, where you pay a certain amount per month or per year, and you get to kind of watch unlimited movies. And I think it was competitively priced back in the States and around like $10 per month, so almost like you're paying for Netflix there. But you get to go to the theater and watch whatever kind of movies, as many movies as you want.
It's not AMC. I apologize.
Not AMC.
No,
okay,
it's its own
thing, right? Yeah. Yes. So when they first started, they were hitting around 3 million subscribers. That's pretty big. Like that must have helped a lot for the theater industries there. But due to, I guess, how many changes are happening now in the movie theaters, how prices are fluctuating, and different types of theaters are coming out now, they had to make some serious changes, I guess, for their business side and to keep their revenue up. So they kind of started adding, like, you can only watch a certain amount of films or certain times or
certain formats.
And like they changed their whole structure.
Right.
They went from 3 million subscribers down to 225,000. That's 90% of their subscribers they lost.
That's insane.
They're going the way of Blockbuster. Yeah. Like it's insanity.
Yeah.
It's a huge decrease.
And I know that we in Canada have one called
Cinema.
And we have a couple friends that did sign up for it, and I just remember hearing when they had to tell us to watch a movie how difficult the process was in my head. Like, to them it seemed normal,
right?
But for people like us who watch films a lot, it was like going through red tape, and I never want to have to do that.
No, because I mean, with us, like we've discussed this before, where like when it comes to like watching movies or going to the theaters or buying movies, like I think we may be in the minority in terms of like we pay for everything that we watch, or like we buy movies that we want to own because like we like that. We like
movies,
and we want to support that because that's our industry, right? We want to support that, but yeah, I just found that it was too, like, the business model is very enticing. Of course, like if you're telling me I could pay $10 and watch whatever movies I want in the theater for all month or whatever, 100% I'll pay that. But when it's going through another company, again, like it leaves me with too many questions of like, am I allowed to watch this movie? Can I do this? Like, am I allowed to see this format? And like, I never want to be able to have to go through that red tape, like you were saying, Shay. Like,
it never made sense to me, this whole like movie, because it's just, movies are, when you go to the theater, there's so many different versions of a movie that can be regular cinema, IMAX, IMAX 3D, AVX. They're like, how do they make money
exactly
on this $10 rather than spending? How much is for
like an $18 film or $20 film out there, right?
I think our IMAX tickets for Avengers were $21 something.
$20, yeah.
And I'm guessing they were just hoping that maybe you never went to go watch a movie.
I don't know,
the way I remember looking at it is that like you can watch a film, but it was like at 3 p.m. you can watch the show only on like a Thursday, and it's kind of like, no, let me watch the movie when I want to watch the movie. Like, don't give me all this red tape.
Yeah, and I always, like, especially, like, going back to when we bought our Avengers tickets, like, I can't imagine, like, if these big movie ticket websites are like, literally, like, are dead during that because of all the traffic they're getting. I can't imagine what people are trying to do on, like, on these sites trying to buy tickets for it either. Like, that's just, their sites must be broken like forever when you're trying to buy tickets on that. And I don't, like, what if there's an issue, like what if when you're buying a ticket through them, like, and that's another thing I think we were seeing as well too with cinema, that like the ratings for it were terrible.
The app ratings were like on Google Play and on the iOS store, they're sitting at like 1 out of 5, and it's because, again, customer service is awful in terms of the app crashing nonstop. It's not, like, for me and for us who watch movies a lot, I just don't want to ever have a hassle. I would if Cineplex ever introduced a model like this.
Yeah, for sure. Through the theater chain itself.
I get it. Yes. Then you know what? I'll read the fine print, maybe sign up for it.
Right.
Because the world now runs on subscription services.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at what MoviePass has been trying to do now. So they're trying to obviously get back their customers. So they introduced a new unlimited plan, okay? And it's priced at about $14.95 US per month. And what it basically does is you can watch one movie daily. All right. But the caveats here are your movie choices may be restricted due to excessive individual usage, which negatively impacts system-wide capacity. Like, what
does that mean?
What does that mean? Does that mean, like, if you watch a movie every day, you could
be like throttled?
Yeah.
I guess.
So they're giving you the privilege of watching a movie every day.
Yeah.
But if you do it every day,
Like, how dare you?
Yeah, it's like, whoa.
Whoa.
I didn't say every day.
Yeah.
I said every day.
It's
Every day.
different. That's like once a week in my
it's
head.
like you can have this whole plate of cookies,
Yeah.
But
But
Only
eat it.
eat
See
one.
what happens.
but I only like under that
it's literally like your
under
parents,
that
right?
fine print, you're only eating one.
Your parents give you a plate
Yeah.
of cookies,
Yeah.
and they say, "Cool, you can go ahead and eat those." And then you start eating 3 or 4. They're like, whoa, slow down! I said you can eat. I'm putting those away.
I didn't mean the whole. I didn't.
Like I just
didn't mean
wanted you
every
to,
day.
you know, it's like
Yeah.
again, it's a way of getting people to subscribe.
Yeah, it's a little
but then,
slimy, right?
Is that in the fine print?
Yeah,
I would say I would find that under fine print.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Like, and again, like I'd be more on board with it if it is like through the theater chains themselves, because obviously the theater chains need to make money. That's why
course.
that's why concessions are so much money, because that's where they're getting 100% of the profits, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's like through these third party companies, especially just like random companies that just start up, especially all these startups, there's so many too many unknown.
Yeah, they're
things,
not reliable,
right?
because
So,
there's
like,
so many, because they're the middlemen, right?
yeah, they're the
And-
middleman. That's it.
and they don't really control what the theater's producing.
And they're suing cinema as well. Movie Pass.
They're suing
really?
cinema.
They're suing cinema.
come?
Yeah, for patent infringement.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
That's a great idea when they're low on money to
sue.
to do a lawsuit.
yeah. So I mean, here's the thing: if the theater comes out with something like this, I will look into it.
Yeah.
But other than that, these subscription models for watching movies in theaters just doesn't work.
No, and Cineplex has said that they've been looking at. I remember them tweeting about this like a few months ago, saying that of course they're looking at ways that people are watching movies and what works best. But you know, like buying a ticket, I think is still just like the most streamlined of ways of doing it. Right? I mean, even now when we go to Cineplexes and there's no box office now. Pretty much, there's one person in the booth, but everything else are like
And
automated machines.
their customer service, that person. That's it. They're just like,
Yeah, they're-
oh, you want to do a return?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like buying movie tickets is still something that most people go to the theater and buy there still, I would say, unless
Yeah.
it's big movie opening nights, right? But like a lot of people go to the movies and buy tickets there.
Yeah.
So this, I think we're still a few years away from it being a lot more mainstream,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was the news for this week. Again, not too big of a news-heavy week, but again, this will change for next week because, again, we are in the Endgame. The new trailers that we got this week, we got our next look at Child's Play. Did you guys catch this trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think?
Looks cool.
Yeah. It was really cool.
Looks scary. Mark Hamill as Chucky,
Comes at the very end. Good night, Freddy, or whatever he says.
whatever his name is. It looks scary. It looks scary for sure.
Is it Freddy? No,
I don't know. I
Never had the kid's name.
I don't know. I watched it once. I was like, ooh, that looks
Yeah.
scary.
So, from the trailer, is Chucky like controlling anything that's electronic?
It
Or-
looks like it. It looks
like
like,
has
so
some
they've
sort of,
they've
like-
updated it to like so. Child's Play used
he's
to
got
scare the hell
Wi-Fi
out of me,
and
right?
Bluetooth. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he basically they set up the toy to be able to control basically HomeKit. He could control
God.
or he could control everything in the house. Apparently, like the thermostat. Why you need a doll to do
You
that?
just gotta make it really hot in here.
yeah, like he's able to learn to control everything in the house,
I like the idea of Chucky being some sort of robot,
like smart device,
smart
right?
AI.
Yeah,
That's
it's a,
now-
that's how toys are going now.
yeah, it's a
anyways,
smart way
right?
to update it for new audiences.
Yes,
right?
yes. Very cool.
But yeah, what do you think of his new design as well?
Oh, it looks cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like I see. I didn't really grow up with Child's Play. I mean, I'd seen it, but I was too scared.
I was
to watch
terrified.
it. Really,
I was terrified.
So for me, like getting to this point, like it's cool, but I don't know if I really want to see it because it looks scary. And
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm a little scared. I want
It's a
to.
little
The whole like when he's carrying the knife, but his foot and he's walking, but his
Yeah.
foot is kind of like crooked. Like
No.
it's almost like a child kind of learning how to walk.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a sense. It's just it's very creepy.
Most children
Yeah.
I know that are learning how to walk carry knives. with
Yeah,
them
the
too,
knife is
so-
the smart way
and
to
he's
do
like
it. It's for
dragging
balance.
it on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I
he
had
has
about
that
that
smart.
life.
I like Chucky.
Yeah.
He's a dope character.
Would you?
He is. He is a dope character.
You probably have a Chucky. You probably have a buddy doll.
I would have had a buddy.
I
doll.
had a buddy doll.
You had a
I
buddy
had
doll.
a buddy doll. Yeah,
It's not
You
here in the
did?
house right now, is it?
it's. I don't think it made the
Burn
movie
it
with us.
down if you have one.
Man,
Man,
no, it was scary. I remember. I'll never forget.
How
'cause,
did you
like,
get a buddy doll?
My aunt gave it to me for Christmas.
She doesn't like you much.
No,
I guess.
dude. And I remember getting it, and I was like, first of all, like, I was like, oh, I got a doll for Christmas. I'm like, okay, but it was also
This
like,
was last Christmas, by the way.
yeah, this was 2018. No. This is when I was like 4 or 5.
Oh my goodness!
And
Really?
It just scared the hell out of me.
But like, did it have a knife and everything?
No, it didn't. No. It wasn't. It was My Buddy, but it wasn't like the scary. It was actual the toy it was based on, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't the scary ass Chucky.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It looks cool that they're updating it for new audience and stuff. And Mark Hamill, 100%, is going to bring us a scary
His scariest Joker voice.
His scariest Joker voice on it, right?
Yeah.
This week we also got our first look, at the Playmobil trailer.
Is it Playmobil or mobile?
Mobile,
I guess, right?
Is that like
Playmobil?
the alternate to Lego?
It's like the bootleg ass Lego.
Bootleg Lego.
My God.
Like I've seen Playmobil mostly in Europe, I think.
Yeah.
And when it comes here, it's like in the Walmart bargain bin area.
Yeah.
But why?
Why is this movie made?
Who's making this movie? Who's
I'm not.
I think Studio Canal. I think.
Studio
Oh,
Canal's
okay, so
doing
it's
it,
like it is a European.
It's a European thing because you could even tell like the way the audio was dubbed in it. It's very jarring to see. So that happens this week.
So that's not.
That's gonna be a no.
Yeah, it's
for
gonna
me.
be a no.
To me, no.
Yeah.
I don't. I think it could rival.
I haven't seen this trailer. Probably won't.
No, I think
Yeah,
you're okay.
You're okay.
Yeah.
You'll
I think
never
you're
see it in
okay.
theater either. I think.
We also got our next look at X-Men Dark Phoenix. And this is the first time we're seeing this trailer like under the Disney reign now.
It felt like a Disney trailer.
It felt like a Disney trailer, but in a good way though. Like
Yeah.
I think it was the best trailer
What
we've
made
seen
it
for this.
feel like a Disney trailer? Because when you guys mentioned it, I'm like it just looks like a trailer.
I just think like just the pacing wise of it and just how like they were holding back key moments when you look at trailer 3 versus trailer 2 or 1.
Yeah.
Trailer 1 and 2 give you large plot points of it, but this one it was more alluding to things.
Just a lot of like
Disney does a good
cuts.
job of when they make a trailer, they make it like a very short film, right?
Yeah.
They make it in the sense that like it starts and ends, but it still just kind of gives you an overarching look at what the film is. The previous trailers, like the one that we got a few months back, shows Mystique dying in it, like
Pretty much,
right
yeah.
in the beginning.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Again,
it just
like, we're
kind of
going to
starts
talk-
off like that, and it's just kind of like, oh, and then it's a bunch of moments and scenes in the movie, all kind of tied in with maybe some narration over top
Right.
of a scene. Whereas this one, it's a sequence in the movie that then carries over to different areas of the film.
Yeah.
Start
It
off
shows
with-
one character.
Right.
Start off with a big sequence and then cut to
glimpses
of what the story.
Yeah, because
might lead to.
the earlier trailers for this, like Shay was saying, like those moments felt like they were in succession as well.
Yeah.
Like it felt like they were coming one after the other story wise. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is the beat by beat of the story
to the end.
to the end. This doesn't feel like it's something trying to hype up the movie. And
No.
that's why this trailer, I'm like, I like this trailer a lot more. Again, do we know if it's going to be a good movie? We don't. Like apparently it was been testing poorly.
It's been
right?
testing poorly, but then I heard at CinemaCon they showed something, and it did really well.
Sure.
So you know what? I'm really curious to see this movie.
Yeah.
'cause
it
this is
the end,
the
right?
end.
This is the end.
My only friend, and Simon Kinberg is directing this one too.
Yeah, which is an interesting choice because he's always been the producer of all these films.
for
so-
all the movies.
So he's now coming in as a director for it.
And we met Simon Kinberg too.
Did we?
Remember
When?
at New York at the Apple Store.
Oh my God! Yeah, he
Yeah.
was
Is he
there.
doing like a sit down?
yeah,
Yeah.
so they had at the
They had the whole
Soho.
cast there. Yeah.
yeah at the Soho, the
Yeah.
Soho Apple Store. Yeah, they had the whole
Fassbender
cast.
was there too, right?
No, Fassbender was there. McAvoy was there.
McAvoy was there.
McAvoy was there.
McAvoy was there.
Yeah,
Storm
Fassbender was not there.
Yeah.
Lana Condor was there.
Yeah.
Sophie Turner. Yeah, a bunch of them were there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh my God, I totally forgot he was there. Wow. Yeah, we did meet
Yeah,
him.
I like Dark Phoenix. She's a great character.
Yeah.
Do you like Sophie Turner as Dark Phoenix though?
Oh, I haven't. Well, I have to watch it.
But do you like her?
I don't. I haven't seen her in much. I haven't watched the last X-Men.
Even in X-Men, we haven't seen a lot of
I
her.
know
Yeah,
That's
she's
why,
in.
too.
She's in like Game of Thrones,
Yeah, she's a Game of
and
Thrones.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Same.
I know she's married to or she's gonna get married to one of the Jonas Brothers.
Is she?
Sure.
Okay.
I believe
cool.
so.
I believe you.
I believe you more than
That sounds
I
like
think
something that would
You know
happen.
more about her than I thought you would. Actually.
But I love the character of Dark Phoenix. I think she's really, really powerful. She could be a very powerful character for
sure.
Disney to utilize.
Oh, definitely. Do you think we will ever get like the classic '90s theme song, like like on film?
Depends on the director.
Yeah, because like we've gotten the
I think-
classic Spidey theme now, right?
Yeah.
In Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
It really depends on the director and if they grew up with the 90s X-Men.
yeah, which is a great incarnation of those characters, right? Our final trailer this week. Speaking of short films, as we were earlier,
Oh my god.
Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Yep.
It happens. The most asked for movie of all time.
And Diesel's like,
I hate Dwayne Johnson.
I hate Dwayne Johnson.
And Spielberg. What? Vin Diesel, why? What did you guys think of this trailer?
Well, I'm still watching it, I think.
Yeah.
What a long trailer.
3 minutes and
like 40 seconds.
Second.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And if you take that trailer with the teaser, you're looking at like a 10-minute.
Dude, the first
segment.
teaser itself was over 3 minutes as well.
Yeah.
And this was showing like almost all new footage.
And this is all new footage, and it literally feels like it's in succession again.
Yeah.
You get like, I know now what happens in this film. I've seen
Beat by
every big,
beat.
Yeah.
I've seen every big action sequence too. So why the hell would I go watch this in theaters now?
It's interesting because, again, like we said, the topic of our show is about spoilers and kind of the marketing that goes into movies and things like that. But I just don't understand why. Like, this movie's going to make a lot of money, no doubt. So I think they know that at this point. But my God, like every single beat by beat point in this trailer is like given to us. Like even them beating up Idris Elba, them losing, them having to retreat home.
They go to like, what is it, New Zealand or Hawaii?
You know, and it's just like literally like every
Hawaii.
single.
Hawaii?
Yeah, I think
They're
go
doing the
to
haka dance,
Yeah.
right? But that's more.
Yeah.
Isn't that more New Zealand? I don't know.
I'm not
The
sure.
point is like
Yeah.
they show every damn thing.
Yeah, and it's like I just feel like the shtick of Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, like that's gonna grow old.
It is.
Oh,
Because
my
even
God.
in Fast,
I grew all of it in the trailer.
Yeah, in Fate of the Furious, I was already like tired of it by at one point because like it's just so
I slept that film.
it's just like so overdone, and I feel like an exec saw like, hey, like they have really good chemistry because like they do, but it's like let's just run it into the ground.
Also, are we forgetting that Jason Statham's character killed Han?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Like that's
he's a villain.
He's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Not
He
like
literally killed him. He
yeah.
didn't
He's
like by accident kill
Nah,
him.
he went to go kill
Dominic
him.
Toretto, you don't know me, but you're about to, and then kills Han.
He
Yeah.
kills
Sorry,
Han.
Jason Statham was just here in the
For
studio.
those of you who don't know Han is, he's part of the actual crew of
The OG crew.
Yeah,
the
the
OG
OG
crew
crew.
of Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, and
So-
Giselle, like, and Giselle, who played by Gal Gadot, like,
She was she
she
killed, right?
was his, yeah, she
died.
She
Yeah.
died, and
Fast
then
Six,
he
right?
decides to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
and then they pull it up from there. But like, it's just
Strange.
weird. And like at the end of Fate of the Furious, is like they like clink beers and they're like,
I have your kid.
I don't know why I'm throwing
Speaking
up.
of us not being negative on movies,
It's I don't know, man. Like
It's silly.
It's stupid that you think that because this movie makes all this money that
yeah,
we should make it, and it's just it trashes the whole idea of film
Art,
yeah.
and art and
we're still getting
and
three more
who's
Fast
doing
and the Furious
this?
movies.
Universal, right?
Universal, yeah.
Like it trashes Universal.
Who's directing it even, by the way? I'm gonna find out.
They're still making Fast and the Furious 9, 10, and 11, I believe. I'm not joking. Like,
But like
they're
these
still-
guys are mechanics. They're not secret agents.
They are now, man.
They're mechanics.
Yeah, they are now.
If I went to my mechanic and he was like, I can't fix your car today, I have to go save the world, I'd be like, dude,
But
how much are you charging
Pardon
me for
me?
this?
by the
way?
end of this whole
Yeah.
like series, they're gonna have Infinity Stones.
Oh, dude.
Vin
Dude,
Diesel's
they have
gonna
superheroes
become,
already.
Yeah,
Dude,
'Cause
Idris Elba, they call
technically,
him Black Superman in this.
He is a superhero.
twice.
So the guy directing Hobbs and Shaw did Deadpool 2, John Wick, and he was the stuntman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also did Atomic Blonde, which
Right.
again was more style over substance.
For sure. But I mean, like, John Wick, he did John Wick 2 or John Wick 1?
One.
One and Deadpool 2. So good movies at least.
Yeah.
But
And but like, here's the thing: visually, this movie, like the action sequences, look cool
For sure, yeah.
But they just look like brain dead action
yeah.
sequences.
So I'm hoping, like,
Yeah.
it'd be great if this movie comes out and we're like, wow, that was actually kick ass. That was cool. But, like, I'm not a fan of how the marketing has been done for it. Just
No.
because, like, going into this movie now, it's not like those scenes are fake. It's not like the Russo brothers pulling the wool over our eyes and saying, like, hey, these scenes aren't actually in the movie. Every scene is in that movie.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That
There's
is-
every scene
There's
in that.
no way.
Every
they
scene of that is in the movie.
You know, $30 million on the trailer. Just
No.
making these effects,
Yeah.
and then it's like that was
that last sequence with the car and
and he pulls him out
yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
it's just like they're on
and
a
smacks him against the wall,
gosh.
right? And
It's-
he's like totally like the guy's like he's dead, obviously, but
Yeah.
like that's it, just a mild inconvenient kind of death.
Yeah, it's like this series from where it started again. Like when we were talking about guilty pleasure movies a few
Yes.
weeks ago, the first few movies always like whenever I see them on, or sometimes I'll just put them on in the background because they're just they're such silly like 2000s
Yeah.
movies, right? But seeing where the series has gone now is just like
No vision.
How did we get here? How did this happen?
No,
it's so over the top.
It's like when you get a bunch of guys in a room and they're like, wouldn't it be cool if like while you jump from here, you land here and you're carrying a guy and you do this?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, let's take all these scenes that we're making up now and then make it into a movie.
Yeah.
What are we gonna call this movie? We'll bring back Fast and Furious. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
I can't wait when they remake Fast and Furious and they come back with some sort of, they always remake it and they make it into like an actual serious.
You want
like
the serious reboot of it? Yeah.
I can't wait when they go back to the original idea of these kids who buy
it was like
cars.
Point Break, right? Like the first one's very Point Break,
yeah,
right?
Soup them up,
100%,
and then they race them, and then there might be some dilemma, or there's always like drugs or a
child in the way, or
but like going back to that just simple storytelling rather than this mess of a movie.
But I'll be honest with you,
and then we're not being negative.
No.
It's literally
it's a mess.
It's a mess.
This movie,
you can see it.
This movie's going to come out. I think there's going to be some really cool action sequences.
Yeah,
in it.
100%.
And then I think this movie's going to. I think it's going to be received well.
I think so.
100%,
I think it's going to be received well.
They all almost do.
But then once we go back to the original cast, it's going to be like, because Vin Diesel at this point, like he's just like, I don't feel like he's just like kind of going through the motions with these movies now, right? So it'd be interesting to see what happens with this franchise in the next few years.
It's weird because like the original Fast and Furious movies, the ones that we like, have negative Rotten Tomato scores.
It's crazy, right?
But then once we hit Fast 5, which I did like.
Fast 5 is my favorite in the series.
Right?
Yeah.
It gets positive, and then it goes Fast and Furious 6, which is still in the positive.
Yeah.
Furious 7 hits at 81%.
Right.
That's crazy.
Which is the one where Paul Walker like passed away.
I truly believe critics are paid by studios for positive reviews.
I'm
it
100% telling you this. And it's probably like this documentary that we're going to have to make that showcases.
Damn.
Because in a world where movies are making billions of dollars,
right?
What's stopping a studio from paying a critic under the table writing a great review?
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know if it's exactly paid reviews, but I think it's the things that come with it in terms of the contents, like being invited to cover things.
Well, yeah,
being
it's
given
like,
access to screenings, because I think there was something.
It's very similar to what Anthony's saying.
Yeah,
I think
like,
though. It's
like
like
some sort of bribe.
it's almost like a muscle, like a muscle behind the thing. Like, you could give us a negative review, but that's also cutting off your.
But you may not be able to walk tomorrow.
You may not be able to watch the next movie.
It says a lot about like this movie, like how big these studios are, right? Because if you're not on par with their movie, maybe you don't get invited to these events.
Maybe you don't get to see the next movie. Maybe you don't make it.
Maybe you shouldn't start your car.
Look at Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Like,
if that's happening, what makes you think that all this other stuff?
It's true. But
in terms of getting movies nominated at the Oscars, like he got, was it
Shakespeare in Love?
Shakespeare in Love. He got him that Oscar, right? Like,
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy times. Again, like. We'll never know until a movie comes out down the road, and then that movie gets nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah,
that's how it's going to happen.
I'm telling you, we should make a documentary on that, guys.
We should look into it.
We would upset a lot of people.
We'll never see the light of day. That movie.
We'll never.
Our
movie would get a lot of negative reviews.
Who critics the critics, right? And then it goes up.
It's like who
watches the Watchmen,
right?
Okay.
All right.
So that was Hobbs and Shaw coming out later this year in August. We'll definitely have a review for that in August. Yeah, it's a good placement for that. It's a good placement for that movie to come out. So those are the end of the trailers that we got this week. Again, out this week, movie wise, Avengers Endgame. We are in the Endgame now, folks.
Dun, dun.
We're almost there, guys. What have we been watching this week?
Zero. I've watched zero.
Oh, what's that about?
No, I meant like zero.
Oh, nothing.
Like nothing.
Okay, gotcha.
I haven't had a chance to watch TV or
anything.
any movies. Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Was that for Lent or?
No, it's just I've been busy. Been busy here and there, making things happen for the.
Okay.
For the,
getting some movie screens, getting some critics to watch my movies. That's it.
What are you making it so like ambiguous and like so scary?
Getting things done.
I'm gonna get things
don't worry
done.
about it. You might see it in the news.
You might hear
you might
about
not.
it.
I don't know.
If I'm not on next week's episode, you'll know why.
You might not even hear it because you're not here anymore.
Because you're not here either. Oh, did he threaten
dead?
us?
Are we dead?
What?
Is this being recorded?
Damn, I think this is the first one we're filming as well.
So if you're hearing this, call 911.
How about you, Shay? What have you been watching this week?
Well, that's a personal question, but
I want to hear it.
After we talked about Star Wars, I went and watched Rogue One.
For sure.
I like that movie more and more I watch it.
Definitely.
And I think right now, and I'm going to throw this out there, it's my favorite of the new Star Wars films.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I like it more than Force Awakens. Definitely like it more than Last Jedi. Don't even talk to me about Solo. But yeah, it to me, and the reason why I think I like it so much is because it feels the most different. It feels like, again, what Gareth Evans or Gareth Edwards did was just make this very grounded Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it's very dirty. Like
Very dirty,
seeing dirty
yes.
stormtroopers. Like it's so cool to see that.
Yeah.
Like seeing them fight like wars in the elements and stuff like that. I love that.
And I mean, especially that last Darth Vader sequence to me, still love it. Anyways,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
love it. And then the Bourne series was on sale on iTunes, so I picked up the trilogy.
Really?
And yeah,
You own them already.
I already own.
on
I
physical.
love the Bourne.
Yeah.
Like
How much was
can
it?
38, I think.
From?
47.
Yeah, because
Okay.
those rarely go.
Usually they
ever on
go
sale,
like
yeah.
usually
And that's
it
how many
hovers around
movies?
60.
6?
All of them, yeah. Bourne, Jason Bourne, Bourne Legacy,
dope.
all that crap. But I love the OG3 Bourne films.
Yeah.
Especially Supremacy and Ultimatum.
Definitely.
The Paul Greengrass ones. My girlfriend had never seen them, so we watched Bourne Identity, and then I had watched Bourne Supremacy a little bit earlier as well.
Cool.
Love those movies, and hopefully we're gonna finish the rest.
Cool. For myself, I've been trying to catch up on Sabrina, the new Netflix show, like season 2. So I think I'm 3 episodes into that, or 4 episodes. I've also caught up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So there's the episode that aired.
Oh yeah, I did too. Yeah, sorry.
Like the last 2 episodes caught up on now. And like because we were talking about Star Wars, I watched A New Hope and I watched Empire Strikes Back. And I watched the new episode of The Twilight Zone that came out. So episode 3. That episode's called Replay, and it's about basically like this lady is bringing her son to college, and she has this camcorder that could reverse time. And basically
the time stone. Okay.
Just a time stone, pretty much, right? So basically, in this episode, her son is going to a predominantly black college, and like there's this cop that literally, in every time they meet him, like kills her son, right? So it's like it goes dark, and it's very much a commentary on things that happen today, right? So anytime this, no matter where she goes, no matter what she does, she can't escape this cop confronting and killing her son or making the situation worse, right? So that's all I'll say about that. You could catch it on CBS All Access or City TV here in Canada. You could watch it, but cool episode. It almost reminds me of like a classic Twilight Zone episode where like this lady, I think it's called The Hitchhiker, where like she's like driving a car and like she's always seeing the same person, blah blah blah.
Very Groundhog's Day. Right?
Yeah. So it's just like no matter what she does, she can't stop this from happening. So it was a cool episode. And it's
Can't
very
stop,
much
won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. But yeah.
What if
cool,
you
good
just kill the
content.
cop?
I don't think
guess-
that would work out well for her,
Yeah.
personally. But like you kind of see like all her ways of trying to escape it. So it's like it's very intense. It's very intense, and it's a cool episode. So definitely, if you're interested in Twilight Zone, check it out. Because you could jump in at any time with that series. It's not
They're
every
bottled-
episode's on
bottled
its own,
stories,
right? Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So
Cool.
again, that's that was what we were watching this week, and I think it's time for us to go into the topic of the show.
The topic
Topic.
of the show.
Yeah, that was new.
Yeah.
That was new.
Yeah.
That was,
I'm realizing now too we didn't do our news jingle earlier.
Wow, yeah. What was the new jingle again, Anthony?
Do 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 do.
Yeah. Well, yours is a little different. You're getting a couple different notes.
Mine, I was doing like Brooklyn Nine. I was like do 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 do.
sounds like a
Brooklyn-
parrot. But yeah.
Yeah. So topic of the show, we're talking all about spoilers, how we avoid them, how we deal with them, how do we live life with them. So earlier this week, a leak for Avengers Endgame came out. I know. And apparently somebody put out this 4-minute clip about some key moments in the movie.
Wow.
And that was going on the internet. And basically Disney has scrubbed that from existence.
I don't want to swear, but F that guy.
Whoever did that, awful. And it sucks because you see the repercussions of this. Now, Disney has actually started, according to some users on Reddit who work at movie theaters, Disney has actually stopped employee screenings from happening because they don't want these secrets to get out, right?
Right.
Last year, we saw the Russo brothers put out that letter about not spoiling Infinity War and Thanos demands your silence, and they actually put that out again this year, saying don't spoil the Endgame.
Yep.
Right. What do you guys like? Are you the type to go out and look for spoilers? Do you try and stay in silence? Like, how do you guys deal with it?
For me personally, I become like Curious George. I start to kind of go down that rabbit hole, and I kind of just ruin it for myself.
Have you looked at anything?
No.
For Endgame?
So this is the first time I've not looked at any spoilers, any story-based articles related to Avengers. Not even clips. The last thing I saw was that trailer, which is all I need.
Yeah, the ticket trailer.
Anything on Instagram that little pages that pop up, I skip through. I try to not hit Reddit, and anything that has Endgame in it, I ignore. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know.
You're going in clean.
I'm trying to go in clean for the first time. But yeah, I get really curious about things, and then I ruin it for myself.
Oh my god, that's
But
awful.
here's the thing. I set the expectation so high for movies that I never feel satisfied. So no matter what happens, I don't know. It hasn't a movie. I think the last movie that really set the blew me away was Sixth Sense, because I did not expect
my
that.
gosh, man!
But there's never been a movie because since then, growing up, I've always felt let down.
You're just dead
at
inside,
the end of the movie. And even though it's a great movie, I always have this
even Infinity War.
War.
My goodness.
And I think too,
because I know they're gonna come back. You know they're gonna come back, right? Like
but they don't know they're gonna come back.
It would have had to been like someone being decapitated when I'm like,
Oh
wow,
God.
My goodness.
But
because you can't come back from that, right?
You can't. I mean, if you're Deadpool, you can.
I mean, yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, he came back.
Yeah,
He came
you
back.
have
back.
Yeah,
You have to.
Yeah, X-Men Origins spoiler alert. No, but I get what you're coming from, because especially like us being like movie fans and superhero fans, like we know these characters are going to come back some way, right?
Yeah.
But going into Endgame, like I used to be like you as well too, like especially when the first Avengers was coming out, I used to try and look up every piece of morsel of information I can and absorb it, and it still wowed me when I saw it in theaters because it's happening, right? But especially with Endgame, like I don't want to know anything going into it, because I want to have those wow moments in the theaters, and that's why I've been so happy about how the Russo brothers and Disney have been marketing it, because it hasn't felt like it's been giving away too much at this point. Right?
My whole thing for not doing spoilers this time is because I kind of want to respect. This is the last one.
Yeah.
And I'm respecting the directors who spend countless amount of hours throughout countless amount of years to make these movies happen. And I'm hoping that this last one kind of wows me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like why I haven't hit those spoilers yet.
I get you. John Squires of Bloody Disgusting, they put out an article this week about how Endgame, don't spoil the Endgame, wasn't the first movie to kind of have this no spoiler campaign, right? Going back to Alfred Hitchcock and Psycho, on the poster for the movie itself saying, if you can't keep a secret, please stay away from people after you see Psycho. Don't give away the ending. It's the only one we have.
Yeah.
Which I think pretty much sums it up perfectly, right? Like you want everybody who sees the movie to have that experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Shay? How about where are you on spoilers? Where do you land? Does it ruin the movie for you if you know?
100%. So here's my thing with spoilers and anything in terms of trailers or whatever we see. If there was a way for me to not watch a trailer before I see a movie,
Right.
I would do it. But my self-control isn't that high.
Yeah, I don't have the strongest will when it comes to this.
Yeah, mine's a little bit better than that, because I know that for you love...
I love the trailers.
Yeah, I remember when
trailers.
Age of Ultron was coming out, you had seen every
TV
400 TV spots.
There were 78 TV spots.
You could actually construct the film based off of that.
I think so. I think I was able to.
And for me, with Ultron, I just watched the theatrical trailers. And the reason why I sometimes can't avoid trailers is because we go to the theater a lot.
We have to leave the theater to not watch it, right?
Yeah, you kind of have to see it. So that kind of sucks. That's why I'll watch the theatrical trailers, because I know I eventually have to watch them in theaters.
But also, Disney's been doing really better with how they're marketing, especially this movie, right?
Correct. So Endgame, for example, yes, I've just watched what we've seen in terms of like the theatrical trailers, quote unquote. But again, like Anthony, I skip all the Instagram ads, skip all the TV spots, do all that crap, because if I can not know anything about a film before going into it, I will definitely enjoy it more. And I know this because the movies that I have seen where I know nothing about them prior, I usually walk out just falling in love with them. Like Sicario, I had just seen one trailer for it in theater, and it was like in the early days of its marketing. And then I went to go see it, and I love that movie.
Nocturnal Animals is another one as well too, right?
Which I don't even... Did I even watch a trailer for that movie?
I don't remember watching a trailer for that movie.
I don't think I'd seen a trailer for Nocturnal Animals. I think Anthony had just told us,
go watch this.
And walked out with my favorite movie that year.
Yeah, easily. I think 2017 was it?
Yeah, or 2016 maybe.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, and just like things like that just do it for me. But man, there are people who love watching trailers, who love getting all the inside information. But for me, I just want to be a kid, sit in that chair and just be surprised. Because I hate when I watch a trailer and then I'm watching the movie and I'm like, well, that scene hasn't happened yet, so this movie's definitely not over yet.
Exactly, and I think that's why we are harder too on Hobbs and Shaw, because we basically have had 7 or 8 minutes of this movie shown to us at this point, with huge set pieces that we know are going to happen in this movie.
It's almost like these studios are so scared that you're not going to watch their movie.
Yeah. Show it to them. Give it to them all.
You want to they want to hype it up so much to the point where you're ruining the movie experience for the viewers. So I would say, should studios be really thinking about how they build trailers and what information is being pressed in these short segments?
It's a double-edged sword, I think, too, because like the Russos have said that there's footage in the trailer that's not going to be in the movie, and they shoot things specifically for trailers. When we look at a movie like Rogue One, there were things in that trailer that we wanted to see in the movie but wasn't there, right? Sorry, Shay, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, like, what you guys are saying here is that you talk about directors that have some controls on marketing. That's huge to me. Like, a lot of the times, a lot of these directors don't have any marketing say or any marketing control.
It's true.
So when
I would say most don't, right?
Most don't, really, yeah. So when these marketing companies get together and create this trailer and they mishmash together and they make this movie seem more than what it is, it's always so interesting how much we get and how different the film looks, right? Like, for example, Rogue One, that shot of the TIE fighter coming up on the bridge, not in the actual movie, but I'm pretty sure the directors and the marketing company knew that shot wasn't actually going to be in the movie.
For sure.
For quite some time. Yeah. And then they still put it in there.
In Spider-Man Homecoming, there's a shot in the first trailer where we see Iron Man and Spider-Man, like, flying and swinging next to each other. I'm like, that's such an amazing shot. It wasn't in the movie, but you have to be able to sell the movie too, which I get, but it also kind of leaves you a little empty too sometimes. We had some great write-in responses to this question, so we posted this on Instagram asking for, like, how do you avoid spoilers? How do you deal with them? Victor wrote in saying that he avoids trailers, theory videos, social media, and people in general. People in general is one that I wanted to ask you guys, because we know people who love spoiling things.
Yep.
And people who, when they know, they're like, they want to tell you and talk about it. And, like, I've literally at work and on the street, I feel like people just, like, have this look that they've seen stuff that they shouldn't have seen, right? I literally just don't look at them.
Look, if I gotta knock somebody out because they're about to spoil Endgame for me, I'll do it. Something? If I gotta stunner somebody, if I gotta go up,
like if they're gonna just come out and blur
you're gonna rock bottom them, you got to do it.
Oh my god, I would. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
They're gonna see some sort of different side of Anthony, Oh
my god,
I think we've seen it before though.
No,
Anthony's gonna fully embrace the dark side at that moment.
Yeah.
Just absorb them.
just shanking away,
Shanking away.
But luckily for us, we usually see movies either in advance,
right,
or the night of,
right.
So we usually are good to not. But I hate when people start spoiling for other people,
right? Like we're gonna know, like, as soon as Endgame happens. So it's opening up a day early in Europe because of time differences, obviously.
Stupid Europeans.
There's going to be memes and stuff like that happening. So I'm appreciative of people, like, on the Reddit threads of saying, like, hey, like, every post that gets posted, like, has to be approved first before it gets.
I'm just not going to go on the internet. To be honest.
I'm not touching anything.
Wednesday, what is it? Wednesday,
the 24th and 25th. I'm
Wednesday
not
morning,
anything,
to Friday morning,
or actually start maybe even Monday, because Monday's the actual world premiere of Avengers Endgame.
Okay, so starting next week,
yeah,
we'll
the day this podcast comes out,
we'll all keep our phones somewhere else.
What do you mean by the world premiere?
The world premiere is actually the premiere day for the movie in terms of the red carpet event for it.
Okay.
Where actually press and critics get to see it.
Okay.
We're not there yet. We will get there. But that is the day that it happens. So there's going to be reactions and reviews and people going crazy about it, and I am just
because they're not doing an advanced screening like they did for the other Marvel. Because I know with Infinity War they didn't do one for us, an advanced screening.
No, I think we have the premiere in Canada on the 24th,
right,
the day before.
But they don't do like an official advanced screening like how we see it 2 weeks in advance. Usually.
No, definitely not.
They don't do that anymore for these films because obviously they want to keep this mystery there.
Don't spoil the end game.
Don't spoil the end game.
Yeah, so Monday morning.
Yeah,
we're off the phone.
We're off
the internet.
Social media.
We're going to post this podcast, and then we'll see it the week after.
We'll never know what happens.
Dude,
Jaira writes in and says he reads them all, and it will still surprise him. So Jaira, all the power to you, man.
That's short-term memory, then I guess. Yeah.
We hope you enjoy the movie, even if you go in knowing things. I'm going to avoid you if you know anything, so don't even look at me.
Don't even look at me.
Maddie G writes, watch the movie opening night, which we do, which is a good advice as well. Yeah. So even in our reviews, I feel like we don't spoil anything in our reviews because we just give our impressions mostly, right?
Well, yeah, I've spoiled a couple of movies, I think.
But I don't think anything that's been like so recent, you know what I mean? Like big twists or anything like that.
No, yeah. You spoil some things that are like 20 years old. What was the last thing I
spoiled?
Aside from this episode?
Oh.
Sure. I don't know how we both decided that.
So I'm going on Reddit right now.
But let's talk about
Endgame.
Let's talk about movies with trailers that are super spoilery.
Yeah.
Like Terminator Genesis is one that comes to mind.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
I still haven't seen the movie, but I can talk to you about the movie. And I remember us talking about it. I'm like, yeah, do you remember that this guy is actually this? And you're like, wait, you haven't seen the movie? I'm like, yeah, but it's in the trailer, that twist moment.
Even Salvation did the same thing. Yeah. They had the twist in the damn trailer.
It's just mind-blowing to me. It's like, why do you feel like you need to show that? Like, why?
I don't understand. Like, do they not understand that this is a huge part of the movie that you kind of want to
save? Yeah. Like again, a few episodes ago when we were talking about the first Avengers movie, and Iron Man's falling from the sky and Hulk catches him. That was in the bloody trailer.
Yeah.
And I remember being so upset about that because I'm like, why are you showing us this? Yeah. You know, so I'm glad they've learned from that.
Castaway did the same thing too. I mean, it had Tom Hanks going back home at the end of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah, he may go back home, but we didn't know that. Other movies have done it. Oblivion has done it. Shutter Island teases it a bit too, to the point where it's like, oh, what's actually going to happen?
Right.
Then you have movies that have titles that literally give away what the film's about.
What do you have in mind?
Lone Survivor.
Yeah, you're right. Sure.
It is literally about Mark Wahlberg being the lone survivor.
Yep.
But so certain things
you could read into it a little bit more, I guess. But
like that, isn't that a true story?
I think so. Right? So
yeah. So so here's the thing: are true stories spoilers?
It's funny though, because like there's like that's a good question.
I don't even want to know the true story.
It's a good question
though,
right?
Right? Like I didn't do my research on it, or even if you think about. This is the longest title of a film, but The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Redford.
Right.
Well, that's,
Robert Ford, sorry.
But here's the thing. If you're telling a good story, and if you have me in that moment, I don't care if I know what happens at the end. Mm-hmm. With Lincoln, like, I don't care if I know that he gets shot in the back of the head. You know what I mean? Like,
but it wasn't called Lincoln gets shot in the back of the head.
No, but if you know like the main idea what happens to a character, or going into Bohemian Rhapsody, I know Freddie Mercury isn't alive anymore. But if you have a story that could engage me, then I'm here for it. I'm part of it.
Yeah.
But if it's something that it doesn't feel like it's giving me anything new, then like it doesn't matter to
me.
Sometimes
I feel like they do it so you have this this almost like this feeling that I want to see that part in that movie where he dies.
Okay.
You know, like the assassination of Jesse James, which is like he was a cowboy. Was he a cowboy, right?
I think so.
Robbed a bunch of banks and stuff.
Yeah.
But you wanted to see him die because that was the most important part of his story.
Right.
So I feel like they kind of play on that.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You know?
But yeah, here's the thing. With spoilers, when it comes to spoilers, like, we're not about that life of spoil. We know how much we love movies. We don't want to spoil it for anybody else, right?
No.
Next week,
Unless I don't like you, then.
and then, oh my god,
Yeah, I don't like him.
You know,
I don't
Darth
like him.
Vader, he's Luke's dad. It's
No!
like, oh, Anthony, that's an older movie though.
Well,
Speaking of spoilers, though, next week's episode is going to be our Avengers Endgame extravaganza. Bonanza Electric Boogaloo 2. We're going all out on that. We won't be going into spoilers for the first, I would say, probably half of the show. But I would say that our topic of the show, is it safe to say that we're going to go into
yes.
everything?
Do you want to? Yeah. Oh
I think
God.
we can. Right?
100%.
We're going to give fair warning, of course. We're not
Okay.
just going to drop, hey, guess who's dead?
Yeah. Okay. I'm nervous, but yeah, let's see what
I'm
happens.
scared. But we're our topic of the show is going to be the spoiler blowout.
Yeah.
So we'll give ample opportunity to not spoil.
We'll have a
anything for
countdown
it.
clock.
Well, God,
3.
Countdown to Death Day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, let's do
Someone's-
it.
No one's dying. I'm telling you.
okay.
No one is
Hey,
dying.
man.
Except for whoever Anthony killed, or
It's
is
true.
going to kill.
No one's
We don't- we
dying.
don't
I
know.
am telling you, no one is dying.
Hey,
Hey, nobody dies today.
nobody dies.
And if they die, they're just gonna be,
They're
in
gonna
a
come
sense,
back.
they're gonna die, but like secretly they'll be alive, and
Okay.
then they'll go live their life.
You thought I was dead?
And then 10 years from now, they come back,
Okay.
and then they come back for that big Marvel Universe spectacle that will happen 10 years
Sure.
from now.
I'm
That's-
here. I'm.
What are you gonna do with who? What are you gonna do without Iron Man and Captain America? You're gonna do nothing. You're gonna do nothing.
Has
Andy's
gone
just
the
going
most
so-
Italian.
This is the most Italian he's never
It's
gone.
like, what do you mean?
Listen to me here, huh?
Huh?
You're
No
gonna
one's
do
dying
nothing.
today.
Yeah, because you know that.
No one's sleeping with the fishes
How
today.
cool
all
will
right?
it be 10 years from now when they're like, let's call Cap,
Hello, Steve. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
or not even like let's call Cap. He just shows up.
He just shows up.
Just
in
like
the
in
shadows,
Infinity
like,
War?
Miss me? Like, oh,
You
no? Okay. No? Did you
No.
see that movie? You should watch it before
see
next
it?
week.
should watch it.
I don't like Cap with long hair.
You
Bothers
know,
me.
you're,
I like Cap with a beard, though.
I
I
like
like
the
Cap
beard
with the
to Cap,
beard,
yeah.
but his beard is too perfect, so it's kind of.
My man's got.
No, he needs like a
no, man, he
beard.
was on the run, you know? He was,
He
he,
did.
was a
he had
nomad.
time. He had time to cut his beard.
Yeah. Of course.
Get
Dude,
out of
you
here.
always
Beard
gotta
doesn't
have
come
time
with
to
beard.
cut your beard. Are you kidding me?
No,
He doesn't have a beard anymore.
I feel naked without it. It's coming back. We'll be back by hopefully Endgame a little bit more. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Movie Podcast. As you know, you can catch us every single Monday across all your favorite podcast services. My name is Daniel. Shay's alongside me here, and we have Anthony as well. We're going to be back next week with our full blowout on the Avengers Endgame. You could catch us also on YouTube if you're watching this right now. Thank you for watching us on our first ever televised episode.
Televised?
Or YouTubeized episode. That was this time with the Movie Podcasts.
And we'll see you next.